Good morning, folks, and welcome back to the allotment. It's about 7:30 in the morning, so a bit of an early one today, and it's difficult. I just can't not talk about hay fever, to be honest. I apologise because most of my videos recently have been me talking quite a lot about hay fever. Fortunately, I have a doctor's appointment today, and hopefully they're going to be able to bump me up and do something a little bit better. But it is just having the biggest impact on my life. I really thought I was kind of over it, but the last couple of days, oh my goodness, it's been so bad. It's quite good this morning so far, but the main issue and the thing that is concerning is my breathing. You know, you can kind of put out with irritation symptoms, but when you literally kind of struggle to breathe, you're kind of short of breath, coughing, I need an inhaler and all that kind of stuff. It just feels a bit dangerous. I don't really want to be messing around too much, so we've just got a little bit of time this morning and I thought I'd give a proper tomato update. The main kind of task for today is hopefully I want to get in here and do some proper stringing up, which is so much easier said than done. But someone was asking for a reminder on exactly what varieties are where, so maybe we can do that again. All the ones that I planted in the last video in the quad grow, they're looking pretty good, established, but once again, they need a lot of support, a lot of staking. And wait a minute, I've said that they look good, hang on. The Tachi tomato, oh, it is okay. I thought for a second it had actually been like nibbled at the stem and fallen over, but no, it's just leaning, that's fine. It just needs staking, needs some support. So we're gonna figure something out today, hopefully. There are definitely way too many tomatoes in here, and we have one kind of casualty, and I thought that this was a Brad's. It's kind of disguised by this marigold, but you can see not much growth on this little one here, especially compared to some of the ones around them. For example, back here, most of these went in at a pretty similar time. This one's looking a bit, actually, yeah, this has got a little problem too. What's this one? This one is black chocolate, and I'm a little bit worried because to me that looks a little bit like aminopyralid damage. Could it be, what is this? It's actually on a few. Oh God. This is kind of why I wanted to spend a bit of time in here properly looking at these, because I've not had much time to do this, but at the tops of a couple of the ones back here are looking like that. Or is that just, no, okay. That is just one plant, so that's something at least. It's not something that's spreading between the plants maybe. Is that, it doesn't look like drought to me. Any tips or ideas on this one? Greatly appreciated. Hope that's nothing serious. But this one that I was originally looking at down here, I nearly forgot what I was doing there. Yeah, this one is a black moon. I thought it was a Brad's atomic, but it's not. It's a black moon, and it's very strange because just next door, this one over here is also a black moon. So what's going on there? This one's perfectly healthy. Maybe just one of those things. Chalk it up to you know, the fates. Maybe that other little baby just wasn't meant to be. I don't really think this one's going to recover, but we'll see. We'll give it a little chance. The other thing, which is just remarkable, is the rate of growth on this cucumber that I've put in. This is one of the Honey Plus cucumbers, and I cannot I just cannot get over how quickly this is growing. I put this in, this is a later sown one, and I put it in next to one that was sown really early, kind of February, March. And the one that was sown February, March has just stalled. It's doing basically nothing. It might yet recover, but just another kind of highlighting example of how sometimes it really is better to just sow a bit later and you'll get such stronger plants. There's also all the melons behind, and to be honest, I don't really know what to do with those. I'm not very good at melons, but I think the first thing I'm going to do is with these melons and cucumbers is, this is all going to be kind of making it up as I go along, but what I want to do is create a little kind of square of string, and so I'm going to put some string between here, and hopefully that will kind of keep everything in. And then, you know, I'll do some more up here and hopefully create a little bit of a square thing. Let's see how that goes. We'll start there. Okay, so it's looking a little bit janky, mainly because this stake has decided to start leaning in. What you can do is what you can see is that I've just put some of these across this cucumber. I can then kind of tie onto there and hopefully just encourage it upwards. A big issue that I've noticed, and something that is a bit concerning, is on this melon down here. Now I've noticed there's a lot of kind of lateral growth coming off the melons, and I've been kind of pruning that so they're just little stems. I think that's the right thing to do, but the issue is, look at the bottom of the stem of this melon. That just doesn't seem right to me. It looks really kind of small, kind of weak. You can see it's discoloured, and I'm a little bit worried. Sort of the stem, kind of for the first half of the plant, is just looking really thin and weak and feeble, and then it's kind of difficult to show you, but this one is actually the main stem. That's the main stem of the plant. Look at that, it looks really, really tiny. But then as you go up the plant, it kind of thickens up a little bit and looks a lot healthier. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But yeah, this is pretty janky, isn't it? It's pretty not ideal. Some of the tomatoes are just going to have like a stake next door that they can just be tied into. I probably should have just done this for every tomato, but you know, we're living and learning, living and learning. I'm going to get in here now and tackle these. Oh, it's a lot. It's looking much, much better in there. And I've just got to say, you know, like, I feel lost without this. Like, every day that I wake up and the hay fever is really, really bad, and I know that I'm not going to be able to go to the garden all day, I just don't know what to do with myself. I feel completely and utterly lost. And just, you know, I just kind of fly, like, go through the day, just like, everything is crap. And when I come up to the garden, it's just, even if it's only for a bit in the morning, and then I can do something for the rest of the day, it just really, you know, it kind of sorts me out. It gives me that good feeling. And this is traditionally the sort of job that I hate. And this season with the hay fever, any time I'm out here, I just love it. I feel so, so good. The hay fever is starting, which is not fun, but you know, sometimes it just feels worth it. Like, I have to put myself through these symptoms just because without it, I feel like I don't know what to do with myself. So let me show you. I can't believe that I hadn't realized this until now, but it turns out there are actually a few holes just in the top of the frame that I have been able to do like traditional stringing. And I'm really, really glad, because that makes life so, so, so much easier. But just look at these. I thought I was relatively on top of the side shooting and everything. But just look at this, there is so, so, so much. I can't even hold it all. Side shoots that I've just pruned out, and hopefully you can see it looks a lot clearer. And what I want to do is just go through and just a really quick look at each plant and just seeing which plant is which. So this first one, and this is the one that is looking really poorly at the top, is the black chocolate. There's actually quite a few tomatoes on a lot of these plants, which is probably not a good sign. I really want them to be in the vegetative growth at the moment. Behind, we've got a Crimson Crush. This is one of the overwintered side shoots, and that one I've just tied into the cane, whereas the black chocolate is tied in at the top, sort of. Then one that I'm really excited about at the back here, we've got the Sun Gold, and this one I've just managed to string up as well. It's looking a bit kind of spindly, a bit kind of sparse, the Sun Gold. You know, like a big gaps between each kind of leaf shoot. I'm hoping that's not the end of the world. There's one at the back here. Another one I'm quite excited for. This is the Black Strawberry, and that I'm just going to tie into that corner cane. But that's looking really strong, really healthy. Then we've got the healthy Black Moon over here, which is going to be sort of, I kind of tied into this cane, but sort of in the middle. So I'm just going to tie it very loose so that it's not competing too much with this, which is bushing out. And this one is one of the Brads. But the Black Strawberry the Black Moon I'm really excited for. And given that this one is on its way out, I'm really hoping the other one survives. We've got the two Brads here. That one is, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think these Brads are bush tomatoes, and I probably shouldn't have put them in here, or I should have at least given them a lot more space. But look at this. There's quite a few tomatoes on these Brads, and back here as well. Just there. So, I'm worried. And this spreads at the front, just not looking great, especially compared to the one at the back there. But this one might come good yet. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And then next to those, the two gigantic tomatoes. We've got one here and one here. And these are both, what are they called? The massive ones, beefsteak tomatoes. So we've got the orange accordion at the back and the tamande at the front, which is just absolutely beastly. But I think it's looking all a lot better now that I've gotten rid of a lot of the side shoots, and I've just started trimming away the bottom vegetation. I don't like to take away too many leaves too early. You know, we don't want to stunt their growth, but I'm pretty happy. It's looking a lot better in here. But I do still need to do something with these quad rows. Now, the good news is I have found some bamboo canes. The bad news is that really rubbish and not tall enough at all. So this is going to be really temporary because I want to put in ones that are actually going to support the tomatoes throughout their life. But what I'm going to do for now, just as a temporary thing, is just kind of tie these two together. So you got a pair there, pair there, pair there, sort of thing. And this will give some support for now. And then later on, when you're doing it properly, it's good to kind of space them all out a bit and attach them laterally as well. But let's get these in and give these tomatoes a bit of a chance because they are up against it. So I think these are tied in. This one could do with another string actually. Let me do that quickly. I've lost my twine. No, that's not it. Under me, literally under me. So I've said this is relatively temporary, but actually, I don't know, it's one of those things that you have to be a bit careful because tomatoes get so heavy and so big. Quite often, if you find out that you've not done enough, it's, you know, normally because there's a catastrophic failure and your tomatoes have kind of collapsed. So these are just getting a little quick tie so it goes around, and then it, you know, there's nice little area in the middle for the tomato. This one is absolutely ridiculous. It started spinning around almost. But I think this is about as far away from perfect, but still just about functional you can get with these quad rows. And it is absolutely gorgeous this morning as well. It has to be said, it's probably about 9 o'clock now, and it's that lovely little bit of time before it's too hot. But it's just really nice. There's one more thing that I want to do, and that is collecting a few harvests, because there are actually harvests on the allotment now, which is so nice. I can't wait until we start to actually get tomatoes, so that is what I'm really missing. I did mean to show you as well the new kind of little nursery area, I guess, and I would love to say that this was me, but no, this was my parents. They did a lovely bit of work kind of levelling out this old strawberry bed. There's a bit of weed suppressant membrane, but basically now that the greenhouses are all full, this is going to be my little propagating area. And the bad news is that this is open to the pigeons and that kind of thing. They've done a fantastic job of tidying up though, so as always, thank you to my parents. Unfortunately, there's one bad issue. I thought these might get a little bit kind of like cabbage whited, you know, or butterflied, but unfortunately this tray of Savoy cabbage absolutely mullered by the pigeons. They're little terrors, so that's come back in the greenhouse for now, which isn't ideal, you know, it's far too warm in a greenhouse for Savoy cabbage, but we'll work on that, That's something to work on into the future. Let's find some harvests. There's some good lettuce, and I tell you what, I said in a video that these lettuce were Saladin, and I think they might actually be Webb's Wonderful. I'm not sure, I've grown both this year, Saladin and Webb's Wonderful. Could be either. Oh my goodness me, the French beans are really looking properly good now, but the main thing that I want to harvest, we've got so much salad stuff in the fridge, but I want to harvest some of these beetroot. Some of these beetroot are still really quite small. I'm trying to harvest these for once when they're on the smaller side. I think this kind of size is really nice. There's one here that's properly full-sized. Hopefully that won't be too big. Just going to take a few and hopefully kind of roast these and have them in our allotment salads that we're having at the moment. Most of these still very small, and it looks like they might need a water, actually. This one just wanted to come out, but look, first beetroot. Can't complain with that, can you? Very happy. I find with beetroot as well, a little bit goes a long way. You just need a little bit in a salad or something like that. So happy, so happy, so just relieved. I'm just relieved when I'm outside at the moment. It is wonderful. Not been a great year for harvest so far. You know, we're into June. I feel like the harvest should be coming thick and fast, but as you've seen, lots of setbacks. The fact that I've got two kind of new-ish allotments and things that have been dividing my attention. Oh, I should get some peas as well, actually. I was going to say that's that, but there's loads of peas ready for harvesting, and the broad beans too. This is really unusual because normally peas are one of those things that they just don't make it home. Normally I pick them while I'm on the allotment. These are just one of my favourites. Something that it took me a while to actually start growing, and I'm so glad I do now. It's really quite difficult to grow enough peas for like a full-on meal or for storage. You know, I don't think I'm ever going to have so many peas that we need to store them. But I think that could also be because I'm lazy when it comes to the structures, and I don't grow tall varieties. I tend to grow these kind of dwarfing ones. Certainly not an amazing harvest, but there's a good little handful there. Unfortunately, I've just had to rip out all the ones at the back because the foxes that dug these up, you know, really left these no chance. These are not surviving at all, so at least food for the compost. And now it's time to see just how these broad beans are looking. I think they're definitely ready. Had some helpful comments. I have no idea about double podding these. Seems like quite a bit of work. Let's see how many of these we get. Well, folks, I tell you what, I think we just about managed to get the black fly in time. The ones that are fully infested have pretty much stopped cropping, but look at that. Pretty happy with that little harvest. You can see it's spilling out. So bountiful and plentiful. There's a few over here that are just fully dead, I think from black fly overwhelm. And there's a few pods there that I just need to wash off because there's a few black fly or aphids or whatever on there. And there's still loads on here for kind of successional cropping. And as well, there is a second row kind of nestled in here in this gorgeous looking bed with the verbena and the feverfew coming into flower. So they're still very young. They were put out probably a month later. All we need to do now is actually cook up these broad beans or find something that is quite tasty. And I hope I can do that because I've never grown them before. And considering this is kind of, you know, first time ever growing broad beans, I'm really happy. I'm quite interested to see exactly how they taste. Double podding does look a bit finicky, but I think worthwhile. I've tried a few just raw and maybe not my favourite, but we'll see. Thank you ever so much for watching. An extra special thank you to all of my patrons, but especially my Chili Pepper tier patrons, Tony, Bill, Pam, Louise, Michael, Mel, Socks, Craig, and Denise. Thanks again, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.